Societatis Lingua Artes held its third General Assembly at the Rigney Hall last Saturday, January 24, 2026. Samuel Mendez, the Vice President of Solaris, gave the opening remarks in place of Department Chair Dr. Joanne Marie Stan, who was unable to attend the assembly.
Usually, when it comes to the second semester, our acquaintance party is done. We've had the USC days, and the distribution of events is more even. But as fate had it, as we all knew in the last semester, almost everything is gonna start happening in the second semester. And so, we have a lot of things planned, everyone, and we're very excited to show it off to all of you.
The Grievances and Inquiries Desk Assistant Secretary Vincent Michael Villariza thanked those who utilized the desk.
Thank you for using GRID because submitting NA forms and tardiness forms, that means the system works, and that means you guys are continuing to cooperate.
He also gave reminders on the proper procedures on the forms and penalties. These included proper formatting, paying absence fees after the assessment, observing proper email etiquette, and attending general assemblies.
A part of GRID is of course the open forum where we all address our personal concerns, other matters, other pressing matters, and so on. And if you really have a question, you make sure that you're the one asking it.
For the Monetary and Finance Desk, Auditor Michaela Menchavez presented the balance sheet of Solaris for the start of the second semester. They reported an income of just over 59,000 pesos during the break, with a total balance of over 138,000 pesos. She also gave reminders on the payments cheat sheet, which will be updated with the new schedules of the respective collectors from Solaris and the sub-organizations. She then announced a contingency measure for online payment collection since the GCash account of the treasurer was maxed out again.
Solaris Treasurer's GCash account has currently hit the limit again, so for the rest of this month, we'll be utilizing the MOFID collector's GCash account to collect cashless payments.
Solaris Treasurer Ann Colan presented the changes to the penalty fee system, which is now capped at 30 school days. She then gave a reminder on the mercy system for those who have accumulated large amounts of absence fees. She also reminded members to submit the receipts properly.
Once again, I would like to remind people who are paying both cash and online to please submit your receipts for your payment to count.
A vote then took place to decide the penalty for late payment of the acquaintance party fee. Option A was a flat penalty of 120 pesos to match the original per head price of the venue, while Option B was a 5 pesos per day penalty, similar to how it is applied to the semestral fees. Both options included isthmus blocking. The result of this vote was 1626, which makes Option B the selected penalty. Another vote then took place to decide on the deadline for the semestral fees. The options were March 10th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. The treasurer explained why the dates were 2 weeks from midterms instead of 1 week before midterms.
Note that these days are set from 2 weeks before midterms, as I know some professors already give their projects and exams a week before midterms.
The result was 1-3-29-48, which sets the deadline for the second semestral fees on March 14th. The respective sub-organizations also presented updates during the assembly. Carolinian Communication Society President Ken Branzuela started with a recap of their activities from the first semester, followed by their liquidation report. CCS reported over 14,000 pesos in expenses with a current balance of just over 16,000 pesos. She then announced the updated deadlines for the semestral fees of the sub-organization.
We actually moved the deadline for the first semester because of everything that happened. So now the deadline for the first sem fees will be this January 30th.
She also announced that CCS was working on a promo vid and some activities for USC Days and SAS Week, but stopped short of providing more details. CCS also presented updates on their respective community extension service activities. The Cameritas podcast was seeking editors for their episodes in February through April. Meanwhile, Stucom announced the new beneficiary to be high school students of Meridel residences. They are looking for volunteers to fill roles in the research committee, logistics committee, social media team, as well as to serve as student teachers, facilitators, and photographers. Society of Language Enthusiasts President Margaret Enriquez also presented a recap of the first semester activities of the suborg. She then announced that the semestral fees for SOL members will only be 150 pesos for both semesters due on February 28.
I know it was supposed to be 100 last sem and also 100 this sem, making it a total of 200. However, in consideration of everything, we did not collect the fees last sem. So now in total, instead of 200, we will be collecting 150.
SOL also presented their financial report, the biggest spending of which goes to the mini-link socials. The organization reports a current balance of about 11,500 pesos that will fund their upcoming events in this semester. SOL also reminded its members that the CES representatives will be reaching out via email regarding the deadlines and submissions of the CES journal entries for the semester. SOL introduced Mariah Socorro Galiago as the new representative of the first-year members of SOL. SOL presented its future events for the semester. Pulong sa mga alagad sa Obra, President Megan Bulliser revealed their calendar of activity for the semester. PALABRA urged the audience to subscribe to Duki Duki, PALABRA's own Substack channel, as the first weekly email newsletter was published last Friday, January 23.
I hate to keep repeating myself, but please subscribe! Because we talk about really interesting stuff about culture and people and stories.
They also announced the first recording session for Tigom and the fifth meeting of the Green Pen Society, which took place in the afternoon after the assembly. Meanwhile, the second reading session for Tertulia sa Cebuano Study Center will take place on January 31, 2026. For February, PALABRA will hold two events during USC Days, have the next recording session for Tigom, and the final meeting of GPS, with the rest of the month dedicated to the production of their zine. For March, on top of the Tigom recording and Tertulia sa CSC session, PALABRA will hold a publishing workshop featuring Mr. Reinhard Cabahar. For April, PALABRA will take part in the Literature Month celebrations by posting one poem a day. They'll also hold a writer's workshop on the 25th with details to be announced. By May, PALABRA will hold a culminating activity for Tigom with the Cebu Braille Center and hold their year-ender at the end of the school year. Halangdon's editor-in-chief Abigail Barredo reintroduced the publication to the members, focusing on its tagline, Sublimity in Print. She also featured some recent works from the staff. She announced that the publication will be working on a yearbook this semester. She also announced applications for the second semester, which will close on February 1, 2026.
We are in need of online managers to handle the social media and or the website, technical staff, photojournalists, video journalists, video editors, photo editors, obviously writers and editors in literary, feature, and news categories, graphic artists, be that illustrators, layout artists, whatever kind of medium you take.
Solaris President Zach Villar revealed the general plan of activities for the second semester. The Acquaintance party, titled Sunset Disco, an ode to the 70s, is set for February 6, 2026. During USC Days, Pistang Solaris, a celebration and festival of DCLL, a festive type of event, is set on February 10, where each suborgs are able to conduct their own activities for the entertainment of the entire department. Also during USC Days, the English department, Solaris on Display, is an exhibit that will display from February 9 to 13 in the open theater installations to represent the CCS, SOL, and PALABRA suborgs. Solaris will work with the department for the career caravan with senior high students of San Carlos School of Cebu this coming March. They'll also hold a press competition and a literary workshop, but details are yet to be announced. The much-anticipated Suliap sa Sining event will be held on Friday, May 1 to Monday, May 4 at Ayala Central Block. The Town Hall event will also be held in May after Suliap sa Sining. The final General Assembly will be held on May 20, 2026, where Solaris also plans to launch a content archive in collaboration with Halangdon. With the much-delayed Acquaintance party now finally coming on February 6th, Solaris President Zach Villar provided a preview of the event's meals, activities, and sponsors. The party will feature performances from students across the department, including Franco Abiera, Lena Tan, Jack Stevens, Mary Clarence Quizon with DCLL alumni Ethan Daniel Dublin, and student band Orange Marmalade, which includes Mai Cabales. Each suborg will also have their own activities in the party. PALABRA hosting Spew, CCS hosting The Boat is Sinking with a Twist, and Soul hosting a 70s disco-themed scavenger hunt. The Acquaintance Party is sponsored by 010 Park, Nest Workspaces, and CoLab Cebu. Zach Villar also mentioned that a sponsorship deal was in the works. The deadline for the parents' permit was on the day of the assembly, while the deadline for payment was set for Monday, January 26, 2026. In the closing remarks, Solaris President Zach Villar stated that he was hurt to see his officers receive negativity.
I understand it's my responsibility to serve the people, but I also understand that it is my responsibility to protect my officers. And it kind of hurts and it's a little unfair to watch specifically my treasury work with so much efficiency and work with so much diligence and integrity and have them remain to be the recipients of negativity. We are the Department of Communication, Linguistics, and Literature, meaning we should know how to communicate with one another and we should know that our words should have some considerable amount of consideration behind them. We are here for you guys. That's why we came here.
After that statement, former Seoul President Amethyst Rose Acenas spoke to raise some grievances about the fees from the last semester.
So I think I speak on behalf of my classmates. I don't know about the other batches. But when I saw the list sa katong penalty fee, it almost seemed like it was the whole department. So where is the responsibility here? I guess so from our end as members, as constituents, we have the right to be like, okay, it's our fault because you forgot. But at the same time, it was during finals week, you guys. So on 5 pesos, it might be a little bit, but I consider na lang, unta.
In response, Zach Villar reiterated that the fees were announced through various channels and that he made changes in the penalties.
We tried our best to consider, given everything, it was a difficult meeting, that's for sure. There's a lot of consideration behind it. And that's why we only considered 1 day for the penalty fees, just 1 academic day, so that even though you're late, the only fee you have to pay is just 5 pesos.
After that, the members took to the stage for the photo opportunity of each program and for the whole department.